I am speaking to you now because heaven has witnessed something you were never meant to see with human eyes. There were prayers whispered about you in secret, quiet prayer-hidden prayer sprayers spoken late at night when the world was silent, and those prayers carried your name. You may not know this person yet, or maybe you do, maybe. You once stood near them without understanding why their eyes softened when they looked at you. Maybe you walked away thinking you meant nothing to them, but heaven knew. The truth long before you did. There was a soul who looked at you and felt something sacred, something deeper than attraction, something heavier than emotion. They felt destiny, they felt peace around you that they had never felt before, and instead of rushing toward you with selfish desire, they went somewhere private. They bowed their head and they prayed. They did not tell anyone it, they did not announce it to the world, they did not post about it or boast about it. They kept it between themselves and God. They said quietly, God, if it is your will, let me marry this person one day. Those words were not casual, they were trembling with sincerity. Because when someone prays about a person instead of chasing them recklessly, that is not ordinary love. That is reverence. That is fear of God mixed with deep affection. They did not want to touch your life without permission from heaven. They saw something in you that made them slow down, something pure, something rare, something that made them respect the future. So they prayed for you, they prayed for your protection, they prayed for your peace, they prayed that no one would damage your heart before the right moment. You might think no one was thinking about you like this, you might think no one ever valued you in that sacred way, but heaven saw those quiet prayers and heaven recorded every word. There were moments when this person almost gave up, moments when distance made things confusing, moments when silence between you felt too heavy, moments when they wondered if they imagined the whole thing. But every time doubt entered their heart, they returned to prayer, not manipulation, not pressure. At prayer, they refused to force something that God had not confirmed, because they feared losing you the wrong way. Some people chase what they want immediately, but this soul chose patience. He asked heaven to move instead of moving selfishly. And heaven noticed that humility you see when someone asks God for permission to love you. It changes everything, because love that begins with prayer carries a different kind of power. It carries alignment, it carries peace, it carries protection. This is why strange things started happening. Behind the scenes, doors began shifting, paths began rearranging, dimly started moving. Situations that looked random were actually divine adjustments. God was listening yet, because the prayer was perfect, but because the heart behind it was sincere. God saw someone who was not asking for possession, they were asking for purpose. They were not begging for control, they were asking for guidance. And heaven responds differently to that kind of request. You may have felt something unusual in your life recent moments where things suddenly changed direction, moments where someone unexpectedly left your life, moments where plans collapsed, moments where doors closed that you once begged to stay open. You thought those moments were losses, but many of them were protection, was rearranging your path, because someone somewhere had prayed for you with a sincere heart. And heaven was preparing both of you. There were lessons that had to happen first, there were wounds that had to heal first, there were distractions that had to leave first, because when a prayer like that reaches heaven, God does not treat it casually. He examines both hearts carefully, watches character, watches patient chair watches humilitith person who prayed for you had to grow, you also had to grow, because divine love cannot survive in immature soil. God waits until two souls can carry the weight of that blessing, and that waiting season can feel confusing sometimes. You wondered why love never seemed to stay. Sometimes you wondered why connections faded before becoming real. Sometimes you questioned your own worth, but heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was preparing you. Prayer spoken about you was not small, it was bold. It asked God to unite to lives. That is not something heaven rushes. God moves when the timing becomes sacred, and that moment is getting closer than you realize. The person who prayed for you has gone through silent battles, moments where they felt foolish for believing, moments where they questioned if God heard them, but something inside them refused to let the prayer every time. They thought about Yuppie's return at every time. They imagined a future with you up return, and not obsession, not desperation, but a calm knowing that something about you was meant to matter. Even if they could not explain it, and heaven has been watching that quiet faith. You see, faith that continues in silence is very powerful. Alien can believe when everything is obvious, but believing when nothing is confirmed, that is rare. That kind of belief moves heaven. God began aligning moments. Slowly, small coincidence soon detect encounters, random memories, thoughts that returned at strange times. These were not accidents, they were signals, little reminders placed by heaven to keep the prayer alive. A bit now, something different is happening. Movement is becoming stronger. The quiet preparation is turning into visible change. God is beginning to move the pieces openly, because the season of waiting is slowly ending. Some of the confusion in your life is about to clear. Some of the emotional fog is about to lift you. We'll start noticing connections forming that feel peaceful instead of chaotic. We'll start seeing doors open without force. You will feel a sense of calm around someone that cannot be explained logically. That calm is not coincidence, sight is confirmation. Because love that begins with prayer carries a different energy. It does not rush, it does not suffocate, it does not demand. It arrives with peace. The person who prayed for you may not be perfect. You are not perfect either, but perfection was never the requirement. Since he was, and sincerity is what heaven responded to. God heard the quiet request. God saw the patient seed, watched the respect, and now heaven is beginning to respond. You may feel something shifting in your spirit. Latelia, strange, peacier sense that something good is approaching. A feeling that your story is not finished. That feeling is not imagination. It is Alec Menthavan is preparing to reveal what was hidden. Soon you will understand why certain chapters closet we certain people disappeared. We certain delays happen. It will start making sense piece by piece. And when you finally realize that someone once prayed for the chance to marry Janet out of desperation, that out of reverence, say a heart will understand something powerful. You were never overlooked by heaven. You were being protected. You were being guided. You were being prepared for something sacred. And the prayer that once sounded impossible is beginning to move toward reality, sir. Do not doubt your worth. Do not believe the lies that say you are easy to forget. You were important enough for someone to go to God about. You important enough for heaven to listen. Important enough for divine timing to begin moving. God heard that secret prayer, and now God is moving. And as heaven begins to move, something inside you will start to awaken, not panic, not pressure, but recognition, a quiet knowing that something real is unfolding around you. Because when God answers a prayer like this, it does not feel chaotic, it feels steady, it feels calm, it feels like stepping into a place your spirit somehow remembers. There were nights when you felt alone and could not explain why. Your heart was restless, you thought. Maybe you were simply tired of waiting, made tired of people who did not understand you, made tired of connections that felt shallow, but heaven was shaping your heart. During those nights, a very disappointment was removing the wrong expectations, very heartbreak was sharpening your ability to recognize something genuine. God was teaching your spirit how to feel the difference between noise and truth, because when the right person approaches, you must be able to feel it without confusion. One who prayed for you has also been changed by time. They are not the same person who first whispered your name to heaven. Life has refined them, struggles humbled them, silence matured them, waiting purified their intentions. God allowed them to walk through seasons where they had to confront their own weaknesses, where they had to learn patience moments, where they had to learn humility moments, where they had to surrender control. Because love that is guided by heaven requires to people who understand surrender, it control, it ego, but surrender. The person who prayed for you slowly realized something during their waiting season. They realized they did not just want to marry you, they wanted to honor you, they wanted to protect your peace, they wanted to build something stable with you, something that would not collapse when life became difficult. And that realization changed the way they prayed. Their prayers became deeper. Instead of asking God to simply give them you, they started asking God to make them worthy of you. That kind of prayer shakes heaven in a different way, because it shows humility, it shows growth, it shows responsibility, and heaven respects that transformation. You may not know their journey yet, but you will begin to notice the evidence of it in the way they speak, in the way they listen, in the way they treat your heart with caution and respect. There will be no rushing, no pressure, no manipulation, just a steady presence that feels safe. And when you look into their eyes, you may feel something strange, that butterflies, not anxiety, but peace, a deep, quiet peace that settles your spirit. Cows. Your soul recognizes the prayer that once carried your Nemitha. Will be moments when the connection feels almost mysterious, like something invisible is guiding both of you, because in truth, something is divine. Timing is a quiet architect. It builds bridges between lives without announcing itself. It aligns meetings that appear accidental. It places to people in the same moment when they least expect items. Suddenly the distance between two lives disappears. You may remember the first moment clearly, a simple conversation, a brief interaction, a look that lasted a little longer than normal, and something inside your spirit will whisper, pay attention, not with fear but with awareness. Because when heaven answers a prayer, it does not arrive loudly, it arrives gently, like a sunrise slowly lighting the horizon. The person who prayed for you may even feel nervous when the moment finally comes, not because they doubt the connection, but because they know the prayer was sacred. Know your heart is something they asked heaven to trust them with, and that awareness will make them careful. They will not treat you casually. They will not speak to you carelessly. They will value your presence in a way that feels rare in this world. You may find yourself wondering why things feel different with them where conversations feel natural where silence between you does not. Feel awkward where time seems to move differently when you are near each other. That is the quiet signature of alignment. Lives slowly stepping into a path that was prepared long before the meeting happened. There will still be challenges. Divine connections do not remove human reality. There will be days of misunderstanding, days where emotions become complicated, days where both of you must choose patience again, but the foundation will be stronger than ordinary relationships. It began with prayer, it began with surrender, it began with respect. For God's timing and foundations like that survive storms. To person who prayed for you once believed they were praying into the unknown. They believed their words might simply disappear into silence, but heaven never ignores sincere prayer meetings. Heaven simply waits for the right moment to answer, and now the moment is drawing near. You will start noticing small confirmations where things align in ways that cannot be explained, where conversations reveal shared values, moments where both of you realize you have been walking similar journeys. Separate will feel like two stories slowly merging into one, and the beauty of it is that neither of you forced it, neither of you manipulated the path. God guided it quietly, step by step, season by season, and when you finally see the full picture, something inside your heart will soften. You will understand that you were never forgotten. You were never invisibly. Heaven knew exactly where you were the entire time. The prayer spoken about you was carried through seasons of waiting, through seasons of doubt, through seasons of preparation, until the moment when God finally said, now, no. The timing is right now. The paths can cross now. The prayer can begin unfolding in the physical world. So if your heart has been feeling a quiet shift, if you sense that something in your life is changing direction, do not ignore that feeling. Sometimes it is simply your spirit sensing the movement of heaven. The prayer that once lived in secret is moving toward daylight, and when it finally reveals itself in your life, you will understand something beautiful. Guided by God does not rush, it arrives at the exact moment when two souls are ready to carry the prayer once whispered about you. Prayer you never heard, prayer spoken with hope and trembling faith, is now closer to being answered than ever before, because God heard it. God remembered it, and now God is moving both of you toward the moment where that prayer becomes real.